Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation with Kristen. Today, I wanted to have a conversation with you all on a topic that I'm having quite often with people in a conversation outside of this video is why work with a local lender versus a national lender, okay? There's a lot of really easy questions to that, but I wanted to bring an actual situation to you. And I was referred a client by a real estate agent at the end of last week, and they were negotiating for his offer. And with that offer, the seller really asked and recommended that the buyer got a pre-approval with a local lender. And the buyer kind of tiptoed around it, didn't really understand why, didn't really think it was necessary. And I talked to him a couple times, and he decided that it was better for him to just stay with the national lender he was working with. Everyone's got different thoughts on that, okay? So I'm not here to judge that decision. But what I wanted to bring to you was the outcome, okay? So he had a really good opportunity to win that home, to win that deal. And he chose to stay with the national lender and did not end up getting the accepted offer. Why? Well, I don't want to say for sure he didn't get it because of the national lender. I'm not trying to blame that, but what I'm going to go over with are things that really matter to your agents, your selling agent, your listing agent, getting the deal done and why it matters, okay? So in this particular situation, he didn't win the house. He left me a very nice voicemail and said that if he ever needed anything moving forward, he'd give me a call. That's great. I'm going to help him any way I can in the future should he choose. Now, with that being said, then the next question is why? Why do the sellers get to have a say in my lending? That's a fair question to a buyer. And the same question he had and didn't really understand at the time. The other question is, why is a local lender better, right? Why? And there's a lot of whys in this. And I thought this is a really great conversation that we need to have. And it was a good video topic for you all. So here are the whys that I wanted to go through because it's so important, right? So there is a plethora of people that it takes to get a deal offer accepted, lending done, closing table, right? I wish it was as easy as just those 3 steps. However, there's a lot that goes into it. So don't forget, there's also an appraiser, probably an inspector, there's an insurance agent, and all of those people, including the listing agent, buyer's agent, the title company, and their closers, all have teams of people, right? So there can be upwards of 20 to 30 people, depending on the size of the company, into a transaction. And that is a true statement, right? We all have teams of people. It is not just as easy as write an offer, have your lender say yes, and boom, we're done. And you talk to 2 people and that's it. There's so many people involved in this. So when you have those types of numbers or those numbers of people involved, having a team that works on behalf of you is critical, okay? It is so important. So what happens if you have a listing agent that you can't get a hold of or a buyer's agent that you can get a hold of? Or more than I hear of those 2 options is the lender you can't get a hold of. Is your national lender available on nights and weekends when most transactions are becoming alive, right? They are happening after work. They're happening on weekends when you can actually get into the home. Are they available? Okay, so far, if I had to take a guess, and this is a guess, I'd say most are not. Some are, most are not, okay? The other thing about this is now, once you have the pre-approval, that's great. The misconception is I have a pre-approval, I don't need to give you anything else, and I'm gonna win the deal, and I'm gonna just get the approval from the underwriter and call it a day. While your lender should have all the documentation up front to make your pre-approval as solid as possible, there is a system in place that we have to get through. We have to get an appraisal. We have to make sure that home appraises. Even if you waive the contingency of the appraisal, if it's necessary for you to have an appraisal, then we need one. You may have an inspection. Did we get through the inspection okay? Is the home all right? Okay, that's another person and another team. Insurance. Is a home insured okay? Does it need flood insurance? Does it not need flood insurance? Now, once you get all those things done, are you going to renegotiate that purchase price? Do you all of a sudden have a lender now that can rerun numbers for you? They're going to be available for you on nights and weekends. They have to be. Okay, so here's my plethora of this. There's so many people involved that we need to keep this transaction going, especially because the new hot topic is closing in 30 days or less. We can do that, right? But we need all hands on deck when we do that. that makes you a super attractive buyer to a lot of sellers right now in this market, especially going into the winter season. For those of you who are in the Midwest, we're going to hit snow soon, right? And people don't love to move in snow. So the sooner we can get it closed by the end of the year, start fresh, all that matters. So I'm going to circle back around. Having your listing agent get along with your buyer's agent, get along with your lender, get along with your appraiser, get along with your title company and closing, and having all of those pieces come together and be in strong communication with one another is so integral in this process, which is why the sellers and buyer's agents would prefer to work with a local lender. It is not because they want to control anything. It is not because they're getting anything on the side or a benefit. It's not because of anything like that. They're not getting a kickback, nothing. That's all against our laws and regulations. They're doing it to make sure that A, you've gotten a second opinion so that you have the best rate available, that your fees are fair because there's a lot of national lenders out there charging an exorbitant amount of fees on top of maybe higher rates. And then 3, to make sure that they are making this transaction as easy on you and as memorable as possible, right? Even though you're going to want to get the lowest rate that you can and the lower fees that you can, you also want this to be a good time. You don't want to be pulling your hair out. You don't want to be 2 weeks from a closing and then all of a sudden have to start over with a lender because yours is nowhere to be found. Believe me, I've seen it. I've bailed out clients in that respect. I don't mind doing it. I'm happy, but every lender wants more than 10 days to get a deal done. If they can, we can do it. It can be tough. So we just all, as local people, we want to be available for you. We want to be available for our real estate agents to make sure that we're teaming with them to make this the best situation for you. That's really the reality behind it. Now, if you have any comments or concerns, questions, I would love to hear them. Please list them below or give me a call and let's have a chat about it. I am licensed in the entire Midwest. My team is here to work for you. And Florida. So if you need anything, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Thank you so much for listening. Cheers to a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.